Hi, welcome to the second BW session, where today we're going to see the practical of whatever we saw last class, that is the LO extraction, which is a very important data source extraction from ECC to BW. So these are the steps we will be doing today in the ECC and BW. So, first thing what you have to do is to find out what kind of data source you're going to do an extraction. So I'm taking this as an example, like 2LIS 11 VA HTR, and this is the setup table, MC11 VA 0 HTR setup, and then the mechanism, delta mechanism, what I'm going to do is the Q delta, okay? And the steps here is to, just we will go through one more time, the steps here for logistic extraction. Let's, you have to install the data source in ECC using transaction code RSA5. Then you need to check the data source at post-processing, which is RSA6. Then you have to maintain the data source transfer structure and regenerate data source in the LBWE. Okay. Then you can replicate the data source in RSA1. Then you come back to the ECC and activate the extraction structure and select the update mode, right? Then delete the setup table. This is the, see, when you see setup table, at that time you need to understand is either a fresh implementation or first time you are loading the data into the ECC to BW, or the data is been deleted and then they want to regenerate the entire LOSD data, okay, logistic extraction. That's when you go for the setup table. Moving forward, once the data is loaded first time or regenerated second time after the data deleted in the BW, then you will always go for the delta extraction only, okay? Right, that's what is called the delta Q delta mechanism, right? And then the info package, create info package in the RSA1, then do a V3 collection run. That's again in LBWE. Then you can maintain the data package in the extraction. Also, one more thing which I would like to mention here, I've given two multiple steps, right? So you can, it's mixed with a mix of ECC and BW. So you can approach this way, or there is also a different way. Like you can just do the ECC steps first, and then you can go back to the BW also. So either way, it will work fine. So some people will do first ECC and then go to BW, or some people will be working. It's all different way of working only, but whichever way you do, the data will be extracted in the in business warehouse. So let's go ahead and begin with ECC, right? So I already logged into ECC. Okay. So I'm going to go to the transaction code RSA 5, right? So this is not ECC by this time. Okay. Transaction file RSA 5. Okay. So there in RSA 5, then you go to SAP R3. Okay. Then goes to the to LIS VA HTR1, right? This is the data source which we are going to do the extraction. So you can take either one of these. Okay, that's not a problem. So just try. If you want, you try with this one first. If it's working, then you can go to the others also. Okay, it's all up to you. So before moving forward, I also need to tell you something here. In LO extraction consists of 3 different steps. Okay, LO extraction consists of 3 steps. Okay, one is you have to enabling. Okay, second one is customize if it is needed. Third is the data loading. Okay, all right. So these are 3 steps which these are 3 steps in the LO extraction. So now we are here in the RSA5. So I'm going to select this data source and then activate the data source. Okay, right. Okay. It will ask for whenever you are doing any kind of activation, it will ask for a transport request. Transport request is something that, for example, if you are as a user, I am modifying an object here, so this object will be added to my user ID with a separate new task, and so that you can move object from one environment to the different environment. For example, you consider this as a development environment. So you do some activities here and activate the data source, right? So this has to be moved to the QA and then from QA to production, right? So it will create a task in your name, and that's called the transport request. Okay, so you have to transport that request from a different environment. Okay, so it says that action successfully completed. So in the sense that this has been activated. To verify it's activated or not, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the next step is what? Is RSA 6, right? So I'm going to go to RSA 6/1 RSA 6. Again, I go to the SAP R3. Okay, sales and distribution, right? So we have the data source here activated. Okay, if it is not activated, it will not be available here. So the data source is activated here, right? Okay. Now we confirm the data is activated, and the next step would be you go to the next is the customizing, right? From customizing means you have to go to the data source. You have to see what is the data source structure and regenerate them. So you go to a transaction code called LBWE. Okay, /n LBWE. Okay, LBWE. It will take you to a logistic cockpit. So this is called LO data extraction customizing cockpit. In this cockpit, you will have several applications starting from purchasing to the workflow, external data. Those are all different. So these are the different modules or application do the extraction. Okay. So for us, it's the sales and distribution, right? So SD sales, right? Okay. So once you go there, it's 11 is basically the job name, the application name, right? And our data sources VAHTR, correct? So I'm going to click on the maintain structure. Okay. So if there is somebody is using it already, so if we won't be able to do any changes here. But when you click on let me show you something here. Okay, everything is finished. Okay, this is not been used. Okay. Okay, so this update is activated. You click go to the click on maintenance and click here. So just to show you what will happen here is the one you see on the left hand side is basically the right. So basically the one which is going to be available in the system in the data source. Okay, only 77. Okay, that's a current number, right? 77 is there. So these are all the fields which we will have it in the data source. And if you want to select anything from here, you can select it and then move it here. Okay, and this is a communication structure. Okay, and then from here you're moving to the extract structure, right? So the communication structure is a combination of multiple data communication structures. So for this, what is this one? It's like a extraction of sales document condition, right? Document condition has multiple communication structures. It has a pricing, sales document, header, item, comma, status, everything is here, right? So you can when you are doing it, you can try doing this same one whatever we are doing, because I don't want to do anything there. I just say also you need to click on the data source again. It's used by somebody else, right? So let's go to this one actually. Okay. So this is where if you have to change anything or add any, for example, these are the fields are available in this particular data source, right? The structure, right? So when you see a check mark in the selection in front of the company code, what does it mean is, while extracting data in ECC, you can filter based on the company code. That's what it is. Okay? If I take it out, then you will not see this one in the filter criteria. Okay. So in this way, you will be seeing multiple selection criteria, so that you can reduce the number of data based on your requirement. Also, one more thing you see here is a hide field, right? So every time you add a new field in this extract structure, by default it will be selected. So if it is selected as a hide field, then you won't see it in the extract structure at all. Okay, so you will be always take this one outside. Okay. Okay, so let's go back. Okay? I'm not going to do anything here, right? And then we also have the structure is active here, right? Now you can just click on it. Okay, let's go to this one again because this is not used, right? So it will ask you for a transport request again. Then you can make this active or inactive. Okay, and again, as I said, that delta, which delta mode you want to do. Like usually, we learned about all three delta, right? Direct delta, Q delta, and unserialized V3 update, right? It's always, most of the time, it's Q delta only, so that on a daily basis, every hour, or whenever the data document is posted in ECC, it is collected in the Q delta, and then in the night time, usually in the night time, probably after 10 p.m. Whatever, so the data will be loaded into ECC. Okay, so we have already, but this has been taken care. So I do not have any other option, but this is the steps we have done, right? RSA 5 we did, 6, and LBWE. So next is, let's go back to the data source and see that is in the ECC. That's not in ECC, that's in BW, right? Let's go back to the BW / N RSA1. Okay, / N RSA1, right? Okay, so now I go to the data source here, right? And then we need to find out our data source, right? So it should be, I'm going to go to this place here in the sales and distribution. So where you will go, data modeling, data source, and you need to select it. Like I said last time, you should choose your data source system. Okay, SAP, ECC, then it will come to this place. Okay, always you have to do this. When you click on data source, and then go to this data source, and then select SAP, and then this is the ERP connection between SAP, BW, and ECC. Okay, so now let's try to find out. Let's see what is our 2 LIS 11 PAHTR, right? Let's find this one. 2 LIS 11 PAHDR. Okay, so the data source again is available. Somebody already did it. Probably this is the best example everybody will take. So they have taken this one. So if this is not available, what you will do is you will have to select the info area name and replicate metadata. It will bring the activated data source. Okay, bring the activated data source to the business warehouse. It's a replicated data source, right? Okay. So now we make sure that's there. Then you go back to the LBWE again to the ECC. Okay. This is the LBWE, right? And then this step is to activate the extract structure and select the update mode, which is already done in this in our scenario. So again, we are the same LBWE. And then you have to activate it. It's already activated. Okay, and then we select the update method. Update method is basically, this is the Q delta. Okay, right? I will show you how to change that one from if you want to know. Okay, so this is how the you can go to, you're going to change it. Like click on this and then Q delta Click OK. That's it, right? It will click it. Okay. You have to give a request name and everything. Let's do a request. PW14. Click on OK. I'll create a new request. Okay, it's not allowing me to create a request. It's all a training system, right? Let's see if I can create or not actually. PW14. Test. Okay. Okay. So it's created. This is what is called a transport. Okay. It's a transport. And then this is the transport ID. Whenever you're going to move activated objects from one environment to another environment, from development to QA, you will have to use this, and then you have to promote this or release this task. Then only it will be moved to another place. Okay, that's okay. I've already done it. It became a Q delta ID probably. 12, right? 12 is now it's a Q delta, correct? But we are worried about the 11 only. Okay. So the 11 LBWE step basically activate the extra structure, update mode. Those are all done, right? Now let's go ahead and do the deletion of the setup table. Okay, deletion of setup table is available in the LBWG. LBWG. Okay. Okay. /n LBWG. Okay. Okay. So now, in this place you are here, so you will have to give the application name. If you don't know what's application name, then click on that button and then select the sales. Okay. And then once you give that, then execute button. Okay. It's asking, do you want to select the delete the T section? It's okay. Don't worry about the training system. Let's see whether it's what it is doing. I think anyway we're going to regenerate, right? So nothing to worry. So it says setup table deleted, right? To make sure the data is deleted or not, you go to another place called /o SE16. Let's see. /n SE16. Okay, and here you have to give our setup table name. Okay. It says there is no data found, right? You will come back again when you fill it up, and you will come back again. You will know whether it's available or not, right? So now the data is deleted from setup table. I'm going to show you how to fill this one up, right? Okay, that's in the transaction code. That's it. You can go and see SBIW, right? Deleted it and then perform setup transaction. SBIW. SBIW. Okay. Okay. /n SBIW. Okay. Right. So where you have to go to there, you can see here multiple application. So we have to go to a place called setting for application specific data source. Okay. And come back on to the logistic. Right. So where is the next one? Managing extract structure. Right. Okay. Initialization. Right. Link setup table. Okay. Application specific statistical data. Right. Here SAP sales order perform setup. Okay. Okay. So now it's saying data source contains data still to be transferred, right? So you have to do the transfer from here only, statistical setup from old documents, correct? So you don't know if you want to filter by any of these record, you can data restrict. Otherwise, you don't have to do it. Give some name, right? BW14 and BW14. Termination time, everything it will be taken care by itself. And click on OK. Okay. It says termination time is fast because the data is, the server is in some other place. So let's do. Okay. So it is what it is doing right now is we have deleted all the initial data from the setup table, right? From application table or database table, data has to reload to the setup table again, and then we will be loading back into the business warehouse. Okay. So there's a huge amount of data. It's taking its own time, so just give it some time. Normally, please do not try this one because, like you see now, it's taking a long time than usual, right? And also, we have deleted all the setup table data just to make sure you know what is going on. I did this. In a training system, it's okay to do that, but when you are in a project, I would say please refrain from doing this unless you know what you're doing, right? Okay. Let's wait for some more time. Usually it should get done, there will not be much record in the development in the training. Okay, so it's taking longer than usual because there is a lot of data available in the system, even though it's IDS. So that's the reason it's taking some time. Let's try to wait for some time. If not, then we can, you know. So let it be like this. Let it run. So I will go out and complete the next steps as well, right? Because we have already know what's going on, right? So once you set this one up, the data is getting loaded right now, right? After that, what you have to do is you have to go to the RSA1 in BW and then do a create info package. Right click, create info package. Okay, you have to give the name. At this moment, it will not do nothing because it's still working on it. There is no data there, right? Then I already told you this info package, create info package several times in our last 12, 13 classes. So you just have to create info package and then load the data. Once you create info package, you will see the data are PSA here. So if you want to see whether the data is available or not, okay, just select on this one and go to the manage PSA. You will see, okay, the data is already somebody else already loaded there. And the initial load, full load they did recently they did full load also. 8.5. Okay, let me just go ahead and click this one. Okay, yeah. So if you see this message, what does it mean is data is already loaded into the PSA to the data source object. Okay, that's why it says that the data cannot be no maintenance possible. So when you click the PSA, what the system is assuming is we're going to do some manipulation in the data source. Okay, but that is not the case. We're not going to do anything. We're just going to see whether data is available or not. Okay. If you have to modify anything at all, right now it's not possible. You have to delete the data in the DSO. When you come back, that's when you will be able to modify whatever you would like to do. Okay. So when you do this, also there will be something I'm going to tell you that whenever you create the info package and select the delta, initial is delta, then there will be a delta Q will be created in the for this name, right? So how do you see the delta Q? Select this info data source, go to this. Okay, so okay, let's go to this one. Slash n RSA 7. Okay, so right now, so this is the place where you can see the delta data source, but it's being a training system, you won't be able to see anything at all. Okay, there is no delta Q, nothing has been happening here. But otherwise, if you create a delta, initiate a delta extraction in VW for any of these sources, you will be able to see that one. Okay, /n RSA 7. Okay, let's go back to our RSA 1. Okay, let's go back here and see whether it's done or not. No, it is not yet. Okay, so it is taking its own time. So we will have to wait for it. Otherwise, there is no other way. And once you do that, once for example, when the setup table is done, then info cube delta run will be there. Again, you have to see first time load would be okay. Setup table is done. After that, then first load is okay. But after that, you have to you have to let the system know, ECC system know that it should run Q delta. Okay. Anything after that, for example, when you do a first load, initial load is a full load, right? Then moving forward, delta is a queued delta. Okay, the queued delta means it will collect the documents posted for the day on a specific interval, on a specific interval mentioned by mentioned interval, okay, and then at the later time it will load, it will transfer data into meter, okay. So it's okay. It says okay. See, these are all in not in our it's like foreign currency, local currency. It's okay. So that's why it's giving an error actually. Let's go back to our in C16 and see whether data is available or not at least. Okay. See, the data is available, right? So there was some error, so that's why it was not giving me the result so soon, like currency. These are all system problem, so because many people are using it, so you cannot do this one, right? So now, because it's been done now, let's go ahead and go to the RSA1 and see, right? Anyway, that's already somebody has worked on it. But we can do another problem. So just what you have to do is to create info package, okay, init and delta, okay, select this. Okay. So now, see, this is what I was telling, like, when you are having a data source extraction, right, that's where these are all the selection field, the company code, VBEL, and the sales and distribution, document number, all those things. So we're not going to do anything actually, okay. And then we're going to do the system of processing, data target, sales cube by itself. It's taking update is I'm going to do a initialize data delta, okay, with the data transfer, okay, and then schedule it. Let's see. Already, see, this is what this is because so this is a step we should do, but here in this system, we already have the delta. Everything is loaded here. It's saying that okay, it's loaded. Okay, that's it. Okay, let's try this one. Without that, I just want so this the reason I just wanted to let you know that whether it's working fine or not. So I'm telling. Initialize without delta also you can try. You can just go out and play around and see what are the different options available and all the data is loaded, okay, right? So you can try whichever way you want it, okay. So you can also see when you select this one, right, you can also see whether the delta has been loaded for this enabled for source system also, okay. We saw in RSA7 delta is when BW delta Q is stored as, right. Also wish that we have we mentioned the Q delta. If you remember, we mentioned Q delta in the ECC, right? So /O LBWE, right? Here you see the Q delta, right? So Q delta means this Q delta also you will see it in the scheduler itself. Okay, here when you go to here, select and then go to update, go to the scheduler, initialization option for source system. It says initialize. Okay, somebody has done the initialize, so that's it. Okay, you can see from this one also. These are all the steps you should know actually. Okay, so now here the data is here, and then already updated, and we are done with most of the stuff, right? And then delta initialization RSA1. So this is the the series of steps which you'll be doing for LO extraction. Okay, right? Okay. And I would suggest you to do the same thing with a different data source. You can take any one of the data source and start working on it. And then if there is any issue, then I can give you guidance on that one. Okay. Thanks, guys. And today this is even for today's class. I will be teaching other extraction also. We still have to see a couple of other extraction. Maybe I'll do you MM extraction and then data source enhancement. Then we will go to the what do you call it? Administration. Okay. right? Next part is the administration. Okay. So with this, we will with the and data source extraction, we have covered most of the extraction here. Okay. There is I would suggest you to go and check the other one of CO. This is again another extraction also, but I want you to do this one. I'm going to send you a document for this. You can do it, and then I will also create another session for this as well. Okay. All right, guys. Bye now. Bye bye.